Even though Uganda was a protectorate, early in the protectorate history of Uganda, the occupation of the British colonial government recognized the need for a local defense force. In 1985, the British colonial armed the protectorate with the Ugandan Rifles, who were to form the internal security force, keeping the peace with tribal areas rather than defending against the external aggression. In late 19th century Uganda, the local defense force was largely comprised of Sudanese troops brought up by the British. These troops were commanded by a mix of British and Sudanese officers. Local tribes were not to persuade its forces into defending or losing other defenses against other tribes in the force defending the interests of the British Imperial East African Company. Fortunately, the Sudanese grew relentless of their conditions of service in Ugandan Rifles and they mutinied in 1897. On the 1st of January 1902, there were some irregular armed units from Uganda and all over ethnicities of Uganda into the Ugandan Rifles, with far less Sudanese and more local tribemen in the ranks, and it was retitled to the 4th Battalion of the King's African Rifles, the KAR, and with the defensive structure they were placed at the outbreak of hostilities in 1914. Although there had been much cuts to the KAR in 1911, they had stretched the forces to the regiment for even further. By the end of the Great War, the Ugandan contingency of the KAR, the King's African Rifles, had grown considerably and they had become an effective fighting force and built out of Ugandans instead of outsiders, and had enjoyed successes against the Germans in East Africa. The Protectorate was organized, now known as the Ugandan Intelligence Department, and about 20 strong included the European officers and African soldiers. And that is basically Uganda in World War I. Sorry, it was short, but it was sweet. And they will get bigger representation in the KAR, the King's African Rifles, but that's it for now. So I hope you enjoyed, and 5 minutes for like 2 lines. Okay, alright, I hope you enjoy something, and I hope you know the way. Wait, hold on. And remember, when in doubt, if you do not know the way, unanduna energina, unaduna energina, which is, do you know the way? Alright, enough memes. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something, and King's African Rifles would flash out Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, and other countries that didn't make it into Africa Minority Report. So, hope you enjoyed. I have to at least have a quote of 1 black and 1 white, or 1 indigenous and 1 white settler. So, here's the black part, even though it is not the native Rhodesians, but enjoy, learn something. Wow, yeah.